Hello, everyone, and welcome to this lesson. In this lesson, we will learn how to leverage ChatGPT and GPT-4 to perform sentiment analysis. So the question is, what do we mean by sentiment analysis? So let's go ahead and ask ChatGPT that question. So what is sentiment analysis? Basically, sentiment analysis is a natural language processing technique that is used to identify and extract the emotional tone, attitude, and opinion expressed in a piece of text. Basically, companies required to do analysis or sentiment analysis on customer reviews. So let's say if you go on Amazon, for example, if you'd like to buy a product, you will find that people or customers who bought the product before, they can go and write their reviews. So they can give either 1-star review or 2 or up until 5 stars, right? And the information that is included in these reviews is basically gold for companies. Because now you can go ahead, you can grab all these reviews, and then you can know what are the pain points for your customers. What are maybe the key features that customers like about your product or service? And you can use that to basically improve your product or service in the future, or you can essentially just keep going or keep improving the services that customers actually like. So what we do when it comes to natural language processing, we basically obtain data from websites, okay? And what we do is that we train an AI ML model to basically provide us with sentiment analysis. It's going to tell me, are my customers happy or not with this product or service? Luckily, we don't need to do that anymore because right now we have GPT 3.5 or GPT-4 that can perform sentiment analysis for us. So we don't have to go and retrain an AI ML model with our data. We can simply go ahead and do this here in ChatGPT. So this is simply the quick definition of sentiment analysis. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask my next question, which is going to be, how can I use ChatGPT to analyze customer reviews? I'm going to tell you, well, to use ChatGPT for customer reviews analysis, you can follow the following steps. First, you need to collect the customer reviews you want to analyze and organize them in a structured format, such as a CSV or Excel file. And what I have here open for you is basically here I have an example of a data set that we used before to basically train an AI ML model or a natural language processing model to perform sentiment analysis. So here we have the rating, and please know that this is real world data set about the Amazon Echo product. And here we have the rating. Okay, so it's either range anywhere between 1 and 5. Here we also have the date as well associated with that review. Here we have the variation. So you will notice that Amazon Echo has different variations. Some of them are, let's say, charcoal fabric. Some of them are walnut finish. And you will find this is simply the actual review that the customer left. And again, this is a real world data set. So some people, for example, let's say here looks great. Some of them are happy, loved it. And of course, if you see a customer who says, let's say, loved it, and if you check out the actual rating associated with it, you will find that basically he or she just gave 5-star review rating. And you'll notice that here the feedback, this is the feedback column, which is if you would like to train an AI ML model to perform sentiment analysis, we would like kind of treat it as a classification type problem. So the output here, if the customer is happy, so let's say if they gave 4 or 5 stars, we're going to give the feedback here as 1. If the customer is not happy, maybe if they gave 1 star or maybe 2 stars, then we're going to give a feedback of 0. And now I can train the AI ML model to tell me, well, are my customers happy or not? Is it 0 or 1? Simple classification type problem. What you notice is if you scroll down, for example, here, you will find that here I have a 0. So it looks like this customer is not really that happy. It's like Siri. In fact, Siri answers more accurately than Alexa. So it seems that this is not a happy customer. Let's maybe check another sample. Here we go. Here we have another 0. Sound is terrible. If you want good music, to just get a pose. Basically, it's a different brand. And here we go. Okay, so what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to basically ask ChatGPT to tell me what is the sentiment of a given text, and then I'm going to copy a sample text here. So I'm going to say, what's the sentiment of this customer? And if I just press Shift and Enter, here I'm going to include the actual text that I would like ChatGPT to analyze that sentiment. So the product is amazing. I highly recommend it to anyone looking for a high quality solution. So if you press enter, here we go. The sentiment of this customer is positive. They use positive words such as amazing and high quality. And this is, again, pretty incredible because it's not just giving you a sentiment, which is just positive. It's actually explaining to you why it came up with that decision. And they also recommend the product to others too, which suggests that they had a positive experience with the product. Okay. All right. Let's maybe test it out with a negative review. So I'm going to say, what about this customer? And again, as I mentioned before, ChatGPT or GPT-4 as well is quite smart because it kind of remembers what we are talking about. Remember the previous conversation. So here I don't need to write what is the sentiment of this customer. I can just say, what about this customer? And then you can write what you want here. I'm going to say here a terrible product, and I'm not happy with this purchase. And let's go ahead and restart it. And let's go ahead and write it again. All right. So maybe let's go ahead and restart the whole tab again. Let's see. I'm going to tell you, well, I'm sorry to hear that you're unhappy with the purchase. So what you notice right now, because we restarted the whole tab here, what happened is it didn't remember basically what we're looking for. Are we looking for this performance sentiment analysis or not? That's why this is really important. You need to make sure that the chain here of prompts actually makes sense. So first, I'm going to copy the previous one. Okay, so this is what we got before. What is the sentiment of this customer? It's going to tell me, well, the sentiment here is positive. I'm going to include the negative one here. What about this customer? Well, I'm going to tell you, well, the sentiment of this customer is negative. They are expressing their dissatisfaction of the product and indicating that they are not happy with their purchase. Again, pretty powerful. Okay, what you could also do is that you can use ChatGPT to basically fix text for you first before you perform sentiment analysis. Let me show you an example. Basically, what I have here is I'm going to say, can you fix this text? And here I have an original text. And this is a customer that wrote basically a review. And this review is not that accurate. It's going to say, this is so many spelling mistakes. This is a terrible service. Customer service is the worst. And what we do when we train these AI ML models, we go through data wrangling stage. So we take this text, we try to fix it up. Right now, we don't need to actually do this at all. ChatGPT is going to do it for us. So we're going to say enter and tell you, well, sure, here is the corrected version. This is a terrible service. Customer service is the worst. You will also notice the T here is uppercase and then added the I. You find terrible. Terrible has been fixed. Customer, all of them has been basically put here down as lowercase. Again, pretty powerful. So after I corrected that text, now I can go ahead and say, can you provide me with the sentiment associated with it? Well, the sentiment of this text is negative. The person is expressing dissatisfaction with the service and indicating that customer service is particularly bad. And that's it. That's all I have for this lesson. I hope you enjoyed it and see you in the next lesson.